Hey everybody, it's Kristie. Bob, I want to talk to you about something which is important. It's consequences. Consequences. Now, in life, people talk about freedom all the time. Everybody wants to join MLM to have freedom.
Mhm.
So we all have freedom of choice. We can choose not to do something. We can choose to do something. We can choose to do something now. We can choose to put it off till later. But nobody, and I mean nobody, has freedom from consequences.
Mm.
There is a direct correlation between your freedom of choice and your freedom of consequences. So when I got started in MLM 35 plus years ago, when I was a policeman, all my friends, most of them thought I was crazy. Most of them, while they're going out with their friends on the weekend, while they're hanging out with each other, while they're sleeping in late, those were those their choices because they had freedom of choice. But as life has it, you never know when freedom of consequences shows up. Sometimes some consequences are immediate, sometimes they're delayed, sometimes they haven't shown up yet, but I promise you that they will. Because my reality, because I had big dreams, and that's important. My reality was this. I was working off-duty jobs. So I was working 40 hours as a deputy, sometimes 50 hours, depending upon what work week it was. Then I was working off-duty jobs on my days off. Sometimes I was working off-duty jobs after my normal patrol shift.
Mm.
So some days 16-hour days, 17-hour days, sometimes both my weekend days. Back then, you didn't necessarily have weekends on Saturday or Sunday. It might have been on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the case is. They were filled with off duty jobs. And when I got started in MLM, because I took it very seriously right from the start, I would go to bed with a voice which kind of sounds like mine now, but then it was from talking so much. Now it's because I've been talking a lot still. But I have a cold. I would have two phone batteries because it was guaranteed that each day my phone battery would die. So I would have a second one on charge because I know I would burn through because still to this day, I have a rule that I go by that I have at least 50 touches every single day. A touch means with different people, mind you. It could be a Zoom, it could be talking to them on the phone, it could be exchanging texts, it could be whatever the case is. So those were my freedom of choices to do it, and I'm really glad that I did, and I'll share this with you. Low earners and top earners, there's a very big distinguishing line between them. Low earners do what they want to do, what they want to do. Top earners do what they have to do. Talk
Exactly
about
right.
that.
Yeah.
Want versus have. Want versus have. So the question that I have for you is this: are you doing what you want to do, or are what you doing what you have to do? What you have to do, what I would put in that category, is sacrifices, giving up time, giving up some freedom, making a lot of choices that you necessarily aren't comfortable. Those of us that have reached the top in the industry, we have become comfortable being uncomfortable. I love being uncomfortable. I do because it's challenging, because you have to think better, think faster, pivot faster, come up with the next great idea faster, come up with the next feature or functionality faster, inspire other people to act faster, internally, externally, get people in alignment faster, which I think is
Mhm.
important too. Because at the end of the day, this is what you have to remember. You have to ask yourself this. If you're only doing what you want to do instead of what you have to do, who are you fooling? Be honest.
Mm.
Deep down inside, you have to live with yourself for the rest of your life, right? So you live with the pain of regret, or you live with the pain of sacrifice. I would much, much, much rather live with the pain of sacrifice, which when you get at a high level and when you have big dreams, it's not even pain. You look forward to it, right? Why
Hmm.
do people that are really super fit go to the gym? It's painful when they're lifting heavy weights, making the sacrifices, but they love it
Hmm.
simply because it's worth it.
That's right.
So this is what I want you to think about. I want you to put it in the chat. Are you really fooling yourself? Yes or no? Are you fooling yourself? Is so at the end of the day, what I'm asking you is this. When you put your head on the pillow and you're thinking about the day and you're thinking about what your future looks like, if you're not giving you your best effort, are you fooling yourself? I promise you the answer is no.
Hmm.
All you're doing is delaying an inevitability, which is regret, right? So let me ask you this too. Are you fooling your spouse or those you're in a relationship with?
Hmm. No.
They see it. If you're lazy, they see it. If you're not giving your best, they see it. If your bank balance is low, they see it. If you're spending time playing video games or watching TV or scrolling endlessly on social media instead of building a business, they see it. What about your kids?
Big one.
It's a huge one. Are you fooling your kids? I am absolutely amazed. And one of the things I'm amazed at being a dad is this, how quickly kids pick things up from you.
Tremendously.
Everybody, we all know, for those of us that are parents, when you're if you cuss, your kids will cuss, right? You know that.
Hmm.
So you don't cuss. So then some of us think that you're slick, then you spell cuss. And then your kids they learn that too. So they learn how to spell, so then they spell cuss, right? But what are the things that you cause your kids to learn early in life? Think about that for a second. That's really deep, actually. I the other day, Kristie and I and the kids, and we went to go see my dad. Took him to lunch, and he's 91 years old, and his mind's still clear. And we were talking about hard work. My dad never missing a day of work ever. Ever in his whole business career. He never missed one single day of work. Not one. In all of his schooling, he never missed one day of school, right? And I didn't really put the two together growing up. I just knew my dad was a hard worker, and
Hmm.
I just knew my dad did well in school.
Hmm.
But I learned that from my dad, though. From being around the environment, I learned it.
He didn't have to say anything to you. He just did it because that was what was in him. And look, copy paste. Bob's one of the hardest workers we all know here and very
I try to
extremely
be.
loyal and reliable and shows up for each and every one of you. So it's just incredible just by his father doing that in him and then Bob doing that because that's what his dad did. So our kids and grandkids and their kids, it goes on and on and on. It gets taught that way.
Mhm. Thank you. So you see too with our kids when we do Zooms, some of you we do private Zooms. I will always want to come in and say hi,
Yeah.
so they know the power of relationships. They know the power of helping people. I always tell the kids that we are helping people. We're not working. I don't want them to correlate work with that. It's helping people, right? So the question, the last question I have about are you fooling is this. Are you fooling your future self? Think about that one for a second. So here's the great thing about MLM in this business. If you haven't given it your all, and let's be honest, if you asked yourself, have I given it my all? But have you given it your all consistently? Through holidays, through ups, through downs, through great financial times, through not so great financial times, through lazy times. through when everybody else is doubting you times, when you're in a bad relationship time or maybe a no relationship and you want to be in a relationship time.
Mhm.
What whatever the reason, have you given it your best? Well, here's the great news about this is that you can turn the switch like this and stop lying because that's what you're doing. Stop lying to your future self.
Mhm.
You can make the decision just that fast to do more consistently, to dream bigger, to dream faster, to be a better leader, to be a better parent, to be a better friend.
Mhm.
It can all just turn the switch like that, right? And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about MLM. It's we are a community of people that rise up by helping other people rise up, right?
Yes.
That and
So
so
much.
so make it a habit to not fool your future self and to improve your future self because nobody knows. I mean, think about this. The lying police is not going to show up at your house. They're not going to knock on the door and say, "Hey, you should have been on that Zoom. Hey, you should have worked instead of taking 6 days off."
Mhm.
Nobody, there is no such thing in life.
Mm-mm.
It's called your paycheck. Really, it's called your bank balance. But most people ignore that until something becomes so dire, so critical that it becomes an emergency.
Yeah.
So plan, consistently plan, be accountable to yourself before it becomes an emergency. Because somebody asked me the other day, it was a really good question, I thought, about policing and how does it compare to MLM? Well, the first thing that came to my mind is that they're both wonderful for helping people. I really do not ever remember having a bad day at the sheriff's office because of this, because I had the ability to help people. Now, there were calls that weren't that good. There were people that were a pain in the rear end. But that's just life. I mean, you put that behind you, you turn the page very quickly because on the next call, somebody may really need you for safety or advice or CPR or whatever the case is, right?
Mhm.
So, so they're both the same in that respect. But
Mhm.
let me tell you where something else is where it's so much different. And I think MLM should be much more like police work in this respect. It's the camaraderie. I can go anywhere in the world, anywhere in Tampa, anywhere in Hillsborough County, anywhere in Florida, anywhere in the world. I could go to the Czech Republic right now, go up to a policeman and tell them that I used to be a policeman. And guess what? They would accept you like that.
Mhm.
Just that alone. That's important because it's one big family.
Mhm.
It's real relationships. There's a alumni association group for those of us that are older now and our minds are still in law enforcement, but our bodies aren't. Um, but we talk about the great times and we sit there and we laugh and about maybe other people that are on the squad, some of the funny moments or some of the supervisors we had. But it is nothing but happiness when you do that. So I want to ask you a question. In MLM, do you think it's the same way? With some, yes, but with many, the sad answer is no. With some, yes,
Mhm.
but with many, the answer is no. In MLM, and this is one of the things that I don't like about it, it's not the industry, it's part of the people, is this. The relationships are conditional.
Mhm.
It's conditional. And generally speaking, in MLM, a relationship is conditional based upon this. If you're helping that person make money, or it's the perception of that person can make money by having a relationship with you, then it's a superficial relationship. It is a conditional relationship. And that is not the right type of relationship to have. In our police group that we have, as we've gotten older, some of our supervisors and some of our fellow deputies and such have passed away, actually. And it's interesting to see what people remember. We talk about the camaraderie.
Mhm.
We talk about the family. We talk about the cause. We talk about the culture. Not one of us made a penny more for being in each other's lives. We were there for the cause. And it's the same way that I feel in MLM.
Mhm.
I'm here for the cause. The money has taken care of itself a long time ago. But Christy and I are here because we want to make your life better. Whatever that means. It could be more money, sure, it could be $100, could be more time freedom. Yep,
Important.
that's very important. To be more honest with your future self, that is important.
Mhm.
So that you can live a life of peace. I don't care what anybody tells you, and I don't care what you tell yourself. If you're not giving it your all, you're not living a life of peace. You're not. You see other people driving the car that you want to drive, that's not peaceful. That's called jealousy. Have you seen other people live in the house that you want to live in? That's not peaceful. That's jealousy.
Mhm.
Sometimes you ever wonder why people hate successful people just because they're successful? It's a weird phenomenon. Somebody who's a dummy, they get mad and they have blind hatred. They have blind jealousy. But somebody who's smart, they find out what the heck they did to get there and they say, "Hey, can you give me a little bit of your time to teach me what you did?"
Mhm.
That's what's important.
Mhm. And that's what's wonderful about MLM because you can start. You don't need to have to be an expert or have prior knowledge or degrees or this. You can be anybody from any walk of life and do great.
Do you
So,
know what I was an expert at when I started MLM? I'll teach you this. Ready? I was an expert at being broke. I had that one down.
we've all
Yep,
been there,
I
yes.
did. I was an expert at trying to figure things out and not knowing what to do. That I was an expert
Yep,
at.
been there.
But I also felt I love people
Mhm.
then. I love them just as much now
Mhm.
and at putting other people first. I was an expert at putting other people first, right?
Yes.
If Because back then I didn't have a family, I was single. I had dogs, cats, but no kids.
Mhm.
Definitely wasn't married. So for those deputies that had a family on Christmas Day, I would volunteer to work Christmas for them if I had the day off, so they could spend it with their family. So, and those guys and gals appreciated that, right?
Mhm.
To me, it was another, it was a shift. It was an opportunity for me to be able to give back to them,
Mhm.
but it was about the camaraderie. So this is what I'd ask of each of you, that start building better relationships with people. And how can you do that? Let me tell you how I do it. I pick up the phone.
Mhm.
I hear their voice. I let them hear my voice. I ask them how the family is because I really care. I ask them how they are because I really care. I ask them how their health is doing because I really care. In MLM, it's not a comp plan that makes something go around. It's not a product that makes something go around. It's not a feature and functionality that makes things go around. It's people. It's the same thing in life. It's people.
Mhm.
I will tell you this, for those people that use social media a lot, pinging somebody on a direct message, you can do it, but it is not the same as picking up the phone. I promise you that.
Right.
And AI is not the same as picking up the phone. I promise you that. AI has no feelings.
Yeah.
People do,
Yeah.
right? So that is my message for today, my leadership message.
Mhm.
Sorry for my voice.
You did it.
Yeah,
You got it.
I hope I was able to add some value to your lives today. We will be back here 2 weeks from today, the same time. There's all kinds of other great stuff going on. I'll be giving you some more updates between now and then. But between now and then, let's get away from having to live by your consequences instead of your freedoms. Let's be better friends. Let's do what we have to do instead of what we want to do. So, on behalf of Christy and I, thank you, everybody. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
Love each and every one of you.
Love
And
you.
we mean that.
And we'll see you.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
So that's May 21st. We'll send out the recap for you and your teams here shortly. So we will see you again in 2 weeks. And of course, we are always available to help you along the way, each and every way. So it's great to see you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Talk to you soon.
Take care of yourselves.
Be
Bye-bye.
well. Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon, everyone.